And that's the difference today. That's what recovery has given me. I just want everybody that needs recovery to find recovery. And even if you don't need recovery, to find a group or an organization where you can get your stuff out. If you don't have to be an addict or an alcoholic or dealing with trauma or anything like that, to find a group of like-minded and like-minded men and women who you can hash stuff out with and work through things with is valuable. It makes the world a better place.
Hey, I'm going to tell you, I've been pastoring all these years, and I'm going to tell you what. We all need recovery. We just have different things we're recovering from.
That's right.
And so I'm in the business of spiritual recovery. I'm also in the business of helping battle-worn men find physical recovery, emotional recovery. But I'm going to tell you what, recovery is recovery. Happy is happy. And there's nothing better on this earth, this side of heaven, than to see someone have the light bulb in their brain go off and say, wow, life is exciting. I don't need all these manufactured ways of finding peace and happiness. Life is real when I'm around real people, when I'm helping real people, when I'm serving real people. There's life there. And I like to say we're supposed to live life together. We're supposed to live together for the purpose of encouraging one another and building each other up. And that's really what you're saying. You're out there to be an encourager. You're out there to help build up people who have found, unfortunately at this moment in their life, a way to hide and come out of hiding and find love and recovery and start experiencing what God's life really looks like. Because we in America have created this idea of what life looks like, and it's a facade, my friend, as you well know. And I love what you're saying, because I think that life is so much more than stuff.
Absolutely. Could not agree with you more.
You found purpose, bro.
Yeah.
That's right.
And you can't buy that shit.
Nope. It is. It feels so good. Like I said, I thought my destiny was.
Right.
I realized I only went through all of that so that I could live my destiny today, right now, this minute. That's good enough. Yeah. I have a destiny right now, right this second. Today, I have a destiny. And it was all that other stuff just built up and led up to and gave me knowledge and experience in order to do what I'm doing right now today.
Right.
That's what it's all about.
You know, when we're not trying to impress other people, we're just trying to help other people. I think there's power with that.
Absolutely.
People are drawn, whether they know it or not, psychology proves it. Subconsciously, we're drawn to people that can help us when we're in the middle of trouble.
The other thing that you mentioned, you know, the like-minded individuals, and you had kind of alluded to it as well, Chap. Man, it's tribe, man. Finding somebody that accepts you for who you are with your scars. Bro, you don't have to cover that shit up to be around me, right? Let it fly. Be authentic, right? I mean, don't be scared of who you are. You know, we all have scars for a reason. You know, I mean, some people say chicks dig scars. So, you be you. You do you. I'm going to love you anyway.
Yeah, man. And, you know, that's one of the things. We at Fob Razor, we say we're lifers for life. It's a pun on lifer, i.e. the guy like you and I that re-enlisted all the times.
Right.
Dumb. But we're lifers for life. We are dedicated to staying alive. We are dedicating to help each other stay alive. But more importantly, we are there for the rest of your life if you're willing, as long as you want us to be.
Right.
And that is something that it doesn't matter what your scars look like today or what they're going to look like 10 years from now. If you want to be a member of Fob Razor, you are a member for life. Because let's face it, man, I may be in recovery, and I'm 8 years clean and sober. And I haven't had to deal with the fallout of trauma in a while. Like, I know how to deal with it today. But I'm always going to be an alcoholic. I'm always going to be an addict. I am always going to have PTSD. It's not gone. It's been subdued a little bit.
Right.
It no longer owns you.
That's right. But you know what? I'm going to continue to work on it every single day. And if you want to continue to work on it every single day, I'm here for you, because I'm doing it anyway.
Right.
So the more people that are on my tribe, the more people that I have as tribesmen and women to do it with me, the stronger I am. So why not? You know what I'm saying? So I agree with you. It's all tribe, man. It's all tribe.
So I know I sent you a list of questions before this. And I wanted to get into Chap. You got anything else on recovery, or I just want to
no. Hey, at the end of the day, I just want the message to get out, and I want to ring the bell. Get help if you need it. You're not a failure if you think you are. You're loved by God. You're loved by your tribe. Find your tribe. Seek opportunity to be better than who you are today, because none of us are as good as we can be. So we struggle, we fight, we learn, we move, we step forward, and we want to be better tomorrow than we were today. And that's an everyday fight.
You're better than you were yesterday.
Yep, absolutely.
Right on.
All right.
So I asked you about what books you had read. You got any book recommendations?
Yeah, if you're anything like me, the only book I've read in the last 20 years is The Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, and that is it, Jack. I am not a reader. Matter of fact, if there's a book that strikes my fancy, I order it for my wife, and then she'll read it, and then she'll tell me all about it, and that's good enough for me, man. I ain't reading no books, man.
You're more the Audible book guy, right?
Well, I don't believe in
it's an Audible. It's an Audible book for me too.
That's right. You have a personal Audible.
Yes.
If I have an hour drive to work, right, I can use that time. I'm not saying I don't I don't mind jamming out, every now and then. But man, I can use that time.
Definitely.
To and from, that's 2 hours a day. I can ingest knowledge.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Or you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, I got you, man. It's I do listen to a lot of podcasts, and it's recovery podcasts. People that are sharing their experience, strength, and hope. Right. That's what really fills my cup as far as to seek out that knowledge. That's where I get a lot of my inspiration from. I listen to other people share their experience, strength, and hope as much as humanly possible. Right. And with that I guess to me that's as close to a book as I'm gonna get, bro. Like I said, I wanted my wife. There was a book called "Leaders Eat Last," and I thought, man, that sounds like a great book, babe. I bought you this book, and she's like, great. I said, yeah, read it. And then I know she's gonna tell me all about it. And I was like, that's exactly what I thought it would be about. Great. It is a good book. Yeah. I can say that she said she speaks very highly of it. So yeah.
That's good.
I mean, yeah, you gotta get it from somewhere, bro.
I
love it.
So you had referenced a couple people, mentors, who had the biggest influence in your life.
Well, in the Marine Corps, it was Gunner Rick Sams. He taught me to be tactically and technically proficient. Master Sergeant Andre Smallwood taught me that it was okay to love the men and women that I was in charge of. And that had a huge impact on me in my career and to this day. Because, before him, I thought, I have to lead them. I don't need to love them. Mm-hmm. Well, loving them really, really makes it, even when you got to make those difficult decisions to send people places that it's going to be not going to be the best, but you still can love them. And that was very important to me. Joe Razor was an amazing brother of mine, and when I zigged, he zagged, and when I zigged, he zagged, and we had each other's back. And that gentleman wholeheartedly was the best friend a man could ever ask for. But the man who had the most influence in my entire life was the man who showed me this way of life. His name was Bobby Holdridge. He was a Korean War veteran, and he fought at the Chosin Reservoir. And he spent a year in a Chinese POW camp in North Korea.
Wow.
And so he dealt with trauma before trauma had a name. Yeah. He knew addiction, and he knew alcoholism firsthand. And he changed his life. He figured out how to change his life and to not to overcome it. Because, like I said, he's all the way up until the day he died. He was an alcoholic and an addict, and he'd be the first one to tell you that. But he died clean and sober, 54 years clean and sober when he died. And that man showed me a methodical way of how to change my life. And God introduced him to me. He just had... The long story short, I met him because when I got out of rehab... They sent me to a sober living home, and they called the sober living and said, we're bringing this gunny to you. He's really mean, and he likes to fight. So if you have somebody big enough to handle him, this is the time to bring that guy out. Well, they didn't have anybody like that, but they thought, well, this guy's a gunny of Marines. He probably isn't going to beat up an old man. Let's give him the 92-year-old. The 92-year-old, 110-pound man, you're right, I'm not going to, obviously... But they didn't realize when I met him, he had Korean War veteran on his hat. And the first words out of his mouth was, "What do you know about Korea, boy?" And I said, well, I know a little bit, sir. I studied it. "What do you know about the Chosin Reservoir, boy?" I said, I actually studied that to ad nauseum. I obviously not as much as you, but I know about it. He goes, "What do you know about being in a Chinese POW camp in North Korea for a year, boy?" And I said, "Not a damn thing." And he said, "Well, I do. I know about all those things, and I've been where you're at, and I can help you if you do exactly what I tell you to do when I tell you to do it." And I said, "No problem." I was hooked on Korean War veteran on his hat.
Right.
And that man showed me how to methodically change my life. And he straight up, one of the first things he told me was that if I applied the same ethos, the same courage, and more importantly, the one that I still remember today, the same endurance that I applied to my 21 years in the Marine Corps as I did to my recovery and this way of life that I needed to walk. He said if I applied the same endurance, I stood a chance. And I didn't understand that because I thought endurance meant 12-mile run, 30-mile hike, not sleeping for 4 days. But recovery is a race of endurance. It's not a sprint. It's not even a marathon. It is going for the rest of my life. And he was 100% right. And that man, everything I have today starts with God and that man taking the time to show me. God put him in my life. And that man, for no other reason than he wanted to help another man up, was there for me every single day, 0530, in his garage, working on me. I never made it into the house for the first 6 months. I even had to piss on the side of the house because I wasn't allowed into his house just yet. But for 6 months, we drank coffee and he worked on me. And that man I will forever, ever be one. Bobby Holdridge is a hero to not just me, but to a lot of men and women in recovery. But fortunately for me, I get to spread his message every single day now.
Beautiful.
That is awesome.
Yeah. It's really awesome. The guy is just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
So, if you had any advice to give to your 18-year-old self, what would you give him?
You know what, man? You asked me this on that, and I answered it, but I don't even remember what I answered. So I guess just that, life is going to be hard. There's going to be tough times in life, but you don't need to let it define you. My son, if I was to tell my son anything right now, The things I tell him, because he's a 22-year-old devil dog now. I tell him same things I'd probably tell myself. Learn from the bad leaders. Learn as much as you can from the bad leaders, because you learn more from them than the good ones most of the time. And that skate when you can skate, because those tough times are coming. And when skate when you can skate, and don't hate on anybody else when their time to skate is on them, because it's all circular. I guess that's where I'm at with it right now.
Good stuff.
Right on.
Good stuff.
This is a question I ask everybody. I usually leave it till the end. If you had, I saw you skipped it too. If you had 24 hours to spend it with, no friends, family, and not Jesus, who would it be? No danger. Whoever you can sit down with Attila the Hun. You can sit down with Jeffrey Dahmer. You can sit down with Adolf, or Mao, or Stalin, or I'm naming off some terrible people in history, but I'm just doing that to make a point. Whoever you want to talk to for 24 hours, hang out, drink a beer with around a campfire, whatever you want to do.
Martin Luther King.
Right on.
I would love to sit down with him and talk to him, and just, I don't know if he would be in the know as to what's going on right now and how life is, but I would like to be able to sit with him and hope that he would be in the know of how things are right now, and to get his opinion. Because I think that in this day and age, he had a dream that we would all cohesively live together in harmony. And I think sometimes there's a lot of us that feel like that we're further away from that than we were when he made that famous speech. And I think if we was to sit kneecap to kneecap with a bunch of men and women away from the television cameras and away from all the other stuff, I think that he would probably agree that we as a mass, as the whole, as not the television, as not the news, as not what's on the sitcoms or the movies, but we as the normal people in this country who do the get in a steel coffin, put on the seatbelt, and drive to work every day, those type of folks, I think I would hope that he would say that we're a lot closer to reaching his dream than a lot of people would lead us to believe. Because I wholeheartedly believe that, I know that there's bad people out there that hate just to hate, but I feel like, man, and maybe it's because I'm around warriors every day, and warriors don't think it, and warriors only care about the final result desired. But the people that I'm around every single day, we are one team, one fight, and it is for the Constitution of this great nation. And I would love to sit with him and discuss what he thinks of the current climate with the average American,
right?
Not with the news, not with what people are trying to make us believe. So that's who I think I'd want to spend time talking to nowadays.
Good.
I like that.
Yeah.
Given a lot of what you do, a lot of what we do is dealing with the aftermath of military service. We attribute it to military service, but it's not necessarily military service. I had mentioned, I had a pretty vanilla military experience. I went to a lot of cool-ass schools. I've ran into some fantastic leaders, some great leaders, some horrible leaders that I've learned a lot from. And I did have a couple times throughout my military career where you have that moral injury that we talk about, that betrayal. Your command may have done something or told you to do something to where you felt like it was compromising your morals, or I have that argument with a lot of people. Just because the law says it, it doesn't mean it's right. But there is a difference. The law is supposed to be fair. It's not always fair. You deal with a lot of the aftermath from the military. We deal with a lot of the aftermath from the military. Is there anything that you think they could be doing better with training our young men and women? And on the flip side, whenever these young men and women get out, is there any support that the VA, everybody loves the VA, and the military could do better, that the government could do better?
First one is, what can we do for the war fighter today? And I mean, my answer is going to, you know what my answer is going to be. Take the social experiment out of the military fighting man's world. There's no place for it in the military fighting man's world. It creates hate and discontent in the civilian world. There's just too many people with too many different opinions and all that, and it creates dissension. There's no place for that in the military fighting man's world. Take the social experiment out. Let us just focus on what we are, and that is defenders of this nation, defenders of the Constitution of the United States of America. Right. That's what we're sworn to protect, and that's it. Take the social experiment out of the military. And then in regards to what can be done for the warrior today, I honestly feel like that there is that even when you're getting out, there's opportunities there. I didn't take advantage of not a one of them. I did not take advantage of any of them. I thought I had it, and to be honest with you, I was afraid of getting out. I was afraid of working in the civilian community, and that's probably one of the biggest mistakes of my life, was thinking that I couldn't do what 99% of the world does every single day. But I feel like that there's a lot of things in place. I would just encourage anybody who, when they're getting out, is take advantage of the opportunities that are ahead of them. We are 1% of this nation. 100. We say that a lot. We are 1% of this nation. But I will say this: we are the last group, and not everybody, but for the people that are like me, we are the last group of alcoholic, addicted, crazy, suicidal people in this country that America cares about. We are it. If you need proof of it, drive under any overpass in Houston, and you'll see people that are desperate for help, and nobody will even look them in the eye. But they still look to us, and they still want to help us. We need to start thinking forward and saying, you know what, man, I need to get better. I need to get better not for me, for my son, for his son. Because the next war is around the corner. It's inevitable. And there's going to be men and women that are going to be coming back, and they're going to be going through the same things we went through. And if we do not show the country that we can be that comeback story, I'm afraid that people are going to stop trying to reach out and stop trying to help. So to me, I don't think any less government, the better for me. But we as a community of gunfighters, we need to recognize the fact that if we don't start caring about each other, and we don't start pulling each other from the back of that flak jacket handle and helping each other up, then there's going to come a time when the American people may not have the stomach for it anymore, and that terrifies me.
Agreed. There's definitely a wave moving through this country. Like we mentioned earlier, nobody cared when I got out. It was a whole different world. Everybody seems to care right now. But that taste is going to change. It always does if you just look at history. Those that we love today, 2 decades from now, we're going to find somebody else to love. That's how government works, unfortunately. I think you're absolutely right. I think now is a wonderful time to take advantage of every opportunity to get our heads on straight, get our heart right, get our teaching and our learning mechanisms in the right direction. I don't trust the government to fix any of my problems. I don't trust the VA to fix any of my problems. They are a tool. and I will use the tool. Absolutely. And I recommend you use the tools that are available to you. But if you're waiting for the government to pick you up, dust you off, and set you on the right path, you are sadly mistaken.
Not in this country. That's not what we're designed for.
This government does not care, but it's not supposed to. It's a government.
It's not supposed to.
It doesn't have a heart. It's a bunch of people trying to get stuff from people. We, the people, are the people.
Agreed, Chap.
And so, Bear and I talk about this all the time. You can't legislate morality. You can't legislate love. And I don't care what law you make, there will always be someone that'll push it and not love it and not do it. The only hope for this great country is law-abiding, people-loving, people-serving one another. And together we live life together, more interested in helping you and you succeed more than me. And if more people had that attitude, you know, America would be a different place if we were all trying to help one another get lifted up.
And God willing, it will be again someday.
Absolutely.
You know, that greatest generation, there's a lot of, you know, that greatest generation of Americans that we so fondly talk about. There's still a lot of that type of folk running around, man. There's still a lot.
Yeah. There's a new movement. There's a new movement.
Yep.
I see it in some young people today. There is a new movement. They are beginning to realize that America is not so bad. America is not so bad.
I couldn't agree more, Chad.
So I'm excited about the future, and I'm going to do everything I can to do my part while I'm still on the earth. My goal is to just be available to help as many people succeed in life as I possibly can, because at the end of the day, the only legacy I really have is the beauty of the list of those who have helped get better.
100%.
And so that's all I have to say on the matter.
Do you, we've been going kind of wild. We'll start to wrap this up, brother. If you got any parting words, or you want to tell people about Fob Razor, again, where to find you, how you do business, how they can get a hold of Gunny.
Yeah, man. Appreciate that. Thanks, Bear.
Absolutely.
I will answer my phone at 3:30 in the morning. And I take a lot of pride in doing that. So if you're in a bad situation, you can call me any time of the day or night, 281-573-7250. And I will, if I don't answer the phone, it's because I'm on the phone or I'm helping somebody else. But if you call me at 3:30 in the morning, I will answer the phone, because we give too much credit to the guy or gal who answers the phone at 3:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. That's the easy part. The hard part is being the guy or gal who needs help at 3:30 in the morning and says, I need to talk to somebody. That's the hero. That's the one that needs to be lifted up. Right. That's what we do at Fob Razor. We give all the credit in the world to the one who calls at 3:30 in the morning, and zero credit to the guy who answers the phone at 3:30 in the morning. That is very important. And, you know, fobrazor.org is our website if you ever want to see what we're about. But in all honesty, man, if anybody ever wants to chop it up and talk about what we're doing, all they got to do is give me a call, and I would be more than happy to share with them anything. And, you know, that phone number, 281-573-7250, that is not a business phone. That's this phone. It's the only one I got. And but it's important to me. It's very, very important to me as a leader of men and women at Fob Razor that I'm doing exactly what I'm telling them to do. So anybody who ever needs anything, give me a call. And, you know, I always tell the guys and gals at the rehabs, if you're a warrior and you need help with anything, give me a call. I do not have the answer probably, but I may know somebody who does. I've been in this business long enough now. I know the chaps. I know the Bears of the world. I know the Mr. Whites. I know the Amoses. I know people that I may not know the answer, but I know people who do. Mm-hmm. So just reaching out, start the conversation with somebody, and if you honor me by starting it with me, I would be so grateful.
It's beautiful.
Right on. Chap, you got any parting thoughts?
But at the end of the day, I just want to reach out and remind everyone, we've said this 3 or 4 times throughout this telecast, but I don't want anyone to ever feel like they can't get help. We live in a culture right now where there are organizations out there all over the United States, some good, some not as good. If you're in a state that you need some help, if you're in a state where you're confused and you just don't know where to turn, pick up the phone. Call Jeff or call somebody else. Find help. Don't be embarrassed, because your life matters. Your influence matters. God loves you. We love you, and we want to help you. Please allow us the privilege of making sure you have tomorrow.
Jeff, you, as I describe you to people, you're a giant amongst men. I appreciate what you do, brother. It has helped me. It has helped people that I know that are close to me. You are doing a great thing. Keep that shit going. If you have the ability, you have a responsibility. I heard that the other day, and that kind of rings true. You know, if not me, then who? Who? Yeah. You, brother.
Thanks, brother. I am very grateful for this life that God's given me, and you know, like I said, man, the list from 8 years ago and the list today don't compare.
Right.
And I'm so happy that I'm working on the list today. So
great.
This is part of that list, man. So thanks a lot, man. Very grateful.
Glad you were here. Thanks a lot, Bear. As always, my friend. I'll go start a fight and call you, but we are here at Chaos Project. We really are interested in what's going on with life, what's going on with the world, what's going on with people in general. So keep watching the podcast. Every time we get together, we talk about things that are real, that really do touch people's lives. Life's chaotic. We all get that. And so we're going to try and bring some kind of normality to the midst of chaos. This is Billy Graff, Bear, Jeff. Been great. We'll see you guys next time around the block on the Chaos Project.